Okay, y'all, buckle in, because Stefon Diggs just lit a match, threw it on the blogs, and walked away like the whole internet wasn't on fire behind him. And when I tell y'all this one is loud, this one is loud. The Maryland wide receiver has officially had enough. Enough of the misleading headlines. Enough of the lies being stapled to his last name. Enough of every gossip page in America dragging his family into a $10 million story that, according to Stefon Diggs himself, never even happened the way they told it. And now that he has finally opened his mouth, the receipts, the courtrooms, the baby mamas, and yes, honey, Summer Walker of all people have all crashed into this story at the same time. So sit down, get comfortable, and let me pour this one slow, because you are not ready. So here is where it all started. Earlier this week, TMZ dropped a headline that had the whole internet gasping. According to the report, Stefon Diggs' brother, Stefon Diggs, had allegedly settled a $10 million lawsuit with a man named Christopher Griffith. And listen, when a number that big hits the timeline attached to a name like Stefon, you already know the blogs went into a feeding frenzy. Every gossip page, every clickbait site, every commentary account ran with the same angle. Stefon paid Christopher Griffith $10 million. The Diggs family cut the check. Case closed. Move on. Except that is not what happened. Not even close. And Stefon is here to tell you exactly why. Because if you actually pull up the court documents, and I did, honey, the paperwork does not say what the blogs said it says. The public filings do not disclose the dollar amount, and they definitely do not confirm that Stefon personally paid Christopher a single cent. What the paperwork actually confirms is that Christopher Griffith agreed to dismiss a separate $10 million civil lawsuit he had filed against two parties. Yes, Stefon was one of them. But the second party, the one everybody conveniently forgot to mention, was the Los Angeles apartment building where the whole incident allegedly went down. And according to Stefon Diggs himself, that is the party that actually settled. Not his brother. The building. The building, y'all. Now let that sit for a second. Because that is a very, very different story than the one the blogs sold you. And the receiver is not letting it slide. So he took the wheel himself. Stefon Diggs hopped straight onto Instagram, marched right into the comments section under a post by the Jasmine brand, and dropped one of the most unfiltered receipts a celebrity has posted in a very long time. Somebody asked, and I quote the vibe of it, where did Stefon Diggs' brother get $10 million from? Because think about it. His brother did time. His brother caught 2 years probation over that whole assault situation with Christopher. He is not exactly sitting on top of Fort Knox. So the question was fair. Where would Stefon get $10 million from? And Stefon answered. He said, and I'm going to give this to you clean, that his brother did not pay Christopher a dime. He said Christopher sued the building. He called it another misleading headline. He said the blogs are just using his name for clicks, because let's be honest, if the article says the apartment complex settled with a man, nobody in America is clicking on that. But the second you put his brother in the title, oh honey, the algorithm eats. So Stefon Diggs is calling cap. Big cap. And he did not stop there. Because if you thought he was going to leave it at a polite correction, please. Please. He went full defensive lineman on the whole timeline. Stefon left a lengthy message directly aimed at Christopher Griffith, and he did not use kind words. He accused Christopher of lying on his name because Christopher got caught stealing. He said he has not paid one dime. He said Christopher sued the building, not him, not Stefon. He said it is very easy to run with a misleading headline, and then he threw down the challenge of the century. He said if Christopher's text messages tell such a story, post them. Post the receipts. Because Stefon wants to see them just as bad as we do. He said this whole case is only still here because he sued Christopher for defamation. Read that again. He is the one suing. Not the other way around. And that is a detail the blogs have been quietly leaving out. Then Stefon Diggs hit the internet with a phrase that had everybody screenshotting. He said 100 pages. Okay. Post them then. Because Christopher Griffith reportedly compiled over 100 pages of alleged text messages and Instagram DMs and turned all of it over as part of this ongoing case. And Stefon is basically saying, go ahead. Post every last page. Because when he proves Christopher is lying, and I'm quoting the energy, not the exact language, what is Christopher going to do then? Make another post? Cry to another blog? Run to another headline? The man is not scared. The man is not folding. The man is standing on the tallest pair of business shoes you have ever seen in your life. And the internet is losing it. Now before we go 1 inch further, let me tell y'all why this matters. Because it is really easy to look at this and say, oh, a rich athlete is mad at the blogs, whatever. No. Sit down. This is bigger than that. Because Christopher Griffith is the same man who has been accusing Stefon Diggs of sexual misconduct. That case is still open. That case is still in discovery. That case has not gone anywhere. And Stefon is out here basically saying every word of it is a lie, and he has the paperwork, the countersuit, and the receipts to prove it. So when he says he is going to prove Christopher is lying, that is not a tweet. That is a legal strategy. That is a statement of intent. That is a Super Bowl level receiver telling the entire internet, I am coming, and I am bringing evidence. And then, right when the timeline was already on fire, right when everybody was still trying to figure out what he meant by 100 pages, okay, in walks Summer Walker. Yes. That's Summer Walker. And honey, she poured gasoline on this fire like it owed her money. Because here is what happened. Summer Walker reposted an Instagram reel on her own page. A reel of another woman going all the way in on Stefon Diggs. And this was not a soft video. This was not gentle. This was a full-on, no holds barred, we are not doing this anymore rant about his entire romantic resume. The woman in the video went off about how he has allegedly been running through woman after woman after woman. She listed the baby mamas. She named Cardi B by name. She said there are others she does not even know about, and there are apparently a lot of them. And then the woman in the reel dropped the line that broke the internet in half. She brought up a viral clip where his own teammates were asked which player on the team they would not want to date their sister. And according to the woman in that repost, every single teammate said the same name. Stefon Diggs. Every one of them. That is a moment that has been living rent-free in the timeline for a while now, and Summer Walker just dragged it right back into the spotlight. And then she took it even further. Or, well, the woman she reposted took it further. Because the video went on to say, if he really has all these women, all these baby mamas, all this drama out here in the open, then what could possibly be going on behind the scenes? And that is where the reel got really, really loud, y'all. Because the woman started asking questions about that whole Christopher Griffith situation. She hinted at what people are already whispering. She raised the idea that maybe the receiver got curious with somebody he was not supposed to get curious with, and then panicked when it did not go the way he wanted, and then tried to bury it. Her exact energy was, this case is really finna be something. And if that man Christopher really did hand over 100 pages of evidence, then Stefon has a very, very long night ahead of him. She even went as far as to ask if maybe something happened to him as a child, because in her words, this is just a bit too much. Y'all. Do you understand what Summer Walker just co-signed? Because reposting is co-signing. Do not let anybody tell you it isn't. And the moment Summer Walker's followers saw that repost sitting on her page, the DMs started flying. The comment section started blowing up. Fans were tagging her. Fans were begging her. Yo, Summer, you reposted something wild about Stefon Diggs. Take it down. Take it down. Take it down. And guess what Summer Walker did? Nothing. She left it up. She has left it up for over 24 hours as of the latest check. Which means Summer Walker is not walking anything back. Summer Walker is standing on that repost. Summer Walker is co-signing every single word of it. And now the whole internet is asking the one question that is about to detonate the next chapter of this story. Where is Cardi B? Because let's be real about Cardi B for a second. Cardi B has a very well-documented pattern. Cardi B has jumped on Twitter Spaces for less. Cardi B has grabbed her phone and dragged people over one comment. Cardi B has publicly gone after other black women, in particular, when they even breathe near her man's name the wrong way. But when white commentators, white podcasters, white pundits have said far worse about him, Cardi B has been quiet. Curiously quiet. So the internet wants to know, is Cardi B going to defend him now? Is Cardi B going to log on to Spaces and read Summer Walker to filth? Or is Cardi B going to stay silent because, deep down, even Cardi B might be tired of typing paragraphs to defend a man whose baby mama count updates faster than the stock market? And that is the question that is about to trend for the next 48 hours, whether anybody wants to admit it or not. Because Summer Walker did not just repost a random video. Summer Walker reposted a video about Cardi B's baby daddy. Summer Walker did not tag her. Summer Walker did not caption it. Summer Walker just let it sit there. Loud. Silent. Petty. Perfect. But before we get to Cardi B, let me pull one more thread, because there is a detail in that Instagram rant that a lot of people scrolled right past. When Stefon Diggs was going in on Christopher Griffith, he did not just call him a liar. He accused him of stealing. He said, out loud, in a public comment section, that Christopher only started spinning this whole narrative because he got caught with his hand somewhere it wasn't supposed to be. Now he did not spell out what was allegedly stolen. He did not give a date. He did not give a location. He just planted the flag. And in the world of celebrity court cases, that is a very specific move. Because once the word stealing hits the timeline, every single juror, every single blog, every single follower who sees this case is going to read Christopher's story through that lens. That is not an accident. That is a narrative seed planted in the middle of a lawsuit that is still in discovery. And whether that seed grows into a full-blown counterargument in court, or whether it just poisons the well of public opinion, either way, he wins a round. And think about how many rounds Stefon is fighting at the exact same time. Because if you zoom out on his life right now, this man is not just fighting one battle. He is fighting a defamation battle. He is fighting a public perception battle. He is fighting a relationship battle, since he and Cardi B have been on and off in the headlines for months. He is fighting a locker room battle, because that old teammate clip about which player nobody wants dating their sister keeps resurfacing. And now he is fighting a Summer Walker battle, whether he wanted one or not. That is a five-front war. And most men fold when they are fighting on two. This man is out here typing in the comments like somebody who thinks he has the cheat codes to all five. Whether that confidence lasts through discovery is the question every single legal analyst online is quietly asking right now. Now let me back up for a beat, because I do not want y'all to miss what he is really doing here. Because on the surface, it looks like he is just clapping back at a blog. But if you slow it down, Stefon Diggs is running a very specific play. He is using his own Instagram to reframe the entire story before Christopher Griffith's 100 pages of alleged evidence go public. He is planting the seed with his own audience that whatever comes out next is fabricated. He is telling you, in advance, do not believe your eyes when the leak happens. Because he is calling Christopher a liar right now, on the record, so that when those texts come out, if they come out, the entire fandom is already primed to say, oh, Stefon already told us this was fake. And that, honey, is chess. That is not checkers. That is a pro bull mind playing the long game while everybody else is arguing about the short one. And here is the thing that is going to keep this story alive for weeks. The case is still in discovery. The 100 pages have not been released. The judge has not ruled. The building settlement is one piece of a much bigger puzzle. And the defamation countersuit against Christopher Griffith is very much still active. So we have two lawsuits, two accusers technically staring each other down, and a whole social media chorus of Summer Walker, unnamed teammates, ex-girlfriends, and every gossip account in America pouring lighter fluid on it every hour. And in the middle of all of that is Stefon Diggs, sitting on Instagram, typing paragraphs, calling people liars, daring them to post the receipts. Do you see the movie? Do you see how big this is about to get? Now, right when we were about to sit down and take a breath, life took a hard turn, because I have to switch tones for a minute, y'all. Because as messy as the Summer Walker situation is, this next one is not tea. This next one is heavy. So I need you to soften up your heart with me for 1 second. Because we got some very serious news out of Memphis. Gloss Up, the rapper, was involved in what sounds like a horrific car accident. She got on her Instagram stories and told her fans, in her own words, that she almost lost her life. She said she was rushed into emergency surgery. She said her foot was in danger. And in the very first version of her post, she said the doctors had told her the foot had to be amputated. That news went global inside of an hour. Now, her team has since clarified that, as of the latest update, the foot has not been fully amputated, and doctors are actively fighting right now to save it. But the fact that we are even having that conversation tells you how serious this crash was. And what makes it hit even harder, y'all, is the timing. This happened right around Gloss Up's birthday. Right around a moment that was supposed to be celebration. If you scroll back through her page just a few days ago, she was posting birthday content, smiling, standing on both feet. And now she is on an operating table fighting for her body. So whatever you think about the gossip we just poured, whatever you think about who is right and who is wrong in this whole Diggs saga, please pause with me and send Gloss Up some real, sincere prayers. Not a quick recovery. A healthy one. A full one. The kind of recovery that gives her back everything she is fighting for. Because the internet can wait. Her healing cannot. Now, let me bring us back to the main course, because Stefon Diggs is not done. And neither is the internet. Because if you go back and reread those comments word by word, there is something else buried in there that a lot of the blogs skipped over. He did not just deny paying Christopher Griffith. He made it clear that his defamation lawsuit against Christopher is very much active. He said, in his own words, that the reason this case is still standing at all is because he is the one who took Christopher to court for lying on his name. So in his mind, he is not the defendant here. He is the plaintiff. He is on offense. He is not the one dodging the story. He is the one who brought the story to court in the first place. And in an era where most celebrities just say no comment and let their PR clean it up, this man is out here in the trenches, replying to Instagram commenters, calling people out by name, and daring the entire industry to test him.